So I'm Jo. I am the public art manager for the city of Lancaster. You guys can come a little closer if you want. Come close, come a little closer. All right. So I'm really excited about this call because it's unique to anything that we've ever done in these cases. So far, as you see right here, they've been used to display sort of organizations. Like here's a lot of work from the African American Historical Society. There's been work from different organizations like the Science Factory, and they kind of make a display. Or it's been used to show work by artists that have already created the work and then they're putting it in here. So the reason why it's different is because we're asking for you to make work specifically for this case or that case. So that means you're really thinking about the context where the art will live. So to get you started, basically, it's the space that you can work with is from the top of this platform to the ceiling. It is like a mini ceiling in there. It's like a little mini drop ceiling in there. So that's kind of the space, and as far back. Nothing below here. I know there's a sign here now, so that's kind of confusing, but there won't be. It'll just be white. So when you're thinking of what to create, it's really, what we'll be looking for is knowing that you've thought about the space that the work will go in. So thinking about, there's a lot of things to pull in. You can think about, this is encased in glass, so what can you talk about, as far as that? There's a lot of things to work off of there. Or its location, like it's here in the center of a transportation hub. So thinking about things like all of the people that travel through and where they're going and who might see it. The work is going to be inside a glass case, and it's in this train station, and it's in the center of the city in Lancaster, and maybe it's location in Lancaster. So just really making work that's talks about that directly. We're definitely going to be looking for that. So anybody who submits stuff that's just work they've already made and they just want to show it in here is not going to be considered because it's not really part of what we're looking for. You can come up with ideas for just inside of this one case, or maybe you want to use both cases. But let us know that, like talk about that in the application and explain why, there should be a connection of why it's both cases. And again, like thinking about the space, maybe it's about the space that is in between the two cases, and maybe it's about the space around it. But so using that for to spark ideas for the work, and really just kind of meditating on the space inside of this case and what can come out of that. The deadline for submissions is May 4th. Yeah, does anybody have any questions? Yeah.
The partition vote, is that permanent?
No, that is not permanent. So yeah, all of these built structures, they come out. We definitely have some things like we have these things here. You could potentially use them if you wanted to, but it's sort of, it'll be like a blank slate, just this white rectangle, and then where else? So there's noise, it could be about the noise of the people passing through. There's, whatever when you're in here, it sort of makes you think of. Another thing too is this is the second busiest train station in Pennsylvania. So there's a lot of exposure, and then there's a lot of things to think about with your work there. We're asking for businesses to sponsor the cases, and that means that businesses are looking for 2 businesses to sponsor, 1 for each case, and in exchange they get to have 1 person sit on the selection committee. But other than that, the selection committee is made of all artists or arts professionals. So that doesn't mean that the business person will get to choose the work, or that the work should be themed in any way after whatever business is partnering with us. Not at all. We're looking, it's definitely going to be just a way for sort of the private sector to learn a little bit about art and the art process, but not to have sort of any kind of rights over what goes in there. They'll have a vote equal to all the other people, that are selecting the work.
Would performance work be considered?
So if you had like tiny people performing inside of there?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, so it's supposed to last for 6 months. And in order to change the work out of the cases, it's kind of an ordeal. We have to bring city workers down here, and they have to take these like big, I don't know what they are, like glass suctions, take the glass off, so it's a procedure. So we're looking to only install the work one time and that's right at the end of June, beginning of July, and leave it in there for 6 months. So I don't know, the air might get tight for the tiny people in there, but if that's part of it, like that's cool, you know, just, yeah, anything goes. Yeah, really try not to limit yourself as far as your ideas or what is necessarily acceptable.
Now, is this something going to go one time, so the 6 months, or is it going to be offered more than once?
We're going to keep offering it. So this is our first go round, and we intend on every 6 months changing it up and keeping the work fresh.
Yeah. Is it possible to hang things from this drop ceiling?
Yep, absolutely. I think on the application online, there's a picture, but yeah, like there's you can just put basically fishing line, or there's actually little clips that you can get that are specifically made for these drop ceiling structures. So you'll see like there's stuff hanging here, you know, as long as it's lightweight. I'm not sure what the weight requirement is, but within reason of what a drop ceiling can hold. Definitely just concepts. I don't want you guys to go out of your way making work that might not be selected. So we're really looking for just an idea, and then how can you best show us the idea? Maybe it's a sketch or two, maybe you're using, like making a rendering on the computer, or definitely needs to be some words, sentences, paragraphs to explain. But yeah, more conceptual, but it needs to be enough along that it's understandable. Yeah. And there's an honorarium of $800 for the selected artist to go towards the work. If you use both cases and you're selected to do both cases, then you would get the honorarium for each case, so that would be $1,600. Think about too, if there's anything applied to the glass, it needs to be removable, somewhat easily removable. Not going to be like a real pain to try to get off of the glass. I don't know where the limits, like where the line is, but try to be reasonable. Yeah. Totally open. Totally open. I mean, that's just one kind of way to start thinking about it, is knowing that these cases are in a Lancaster transportation hub and we're in Lancaster. That could be a way to think about it, but it definitely doesn't have to be. It's totally open as far as themes go. So we're asking businesses to sponsor a case. They could sponsor both cases, but we're asking for their contribution is $1,800, and that's to help fund other parts of the program and our program in general, because we got no money. We got no budget, we got no money.
Yeah. The artists can be limited to one artist per case, or is it open to multiple artists per case?
Multiple artists are fine. Yeah, teams of artists are fine. Definitely. If you apply as a team, just indicate that you're part of a team. Each team member should supply their resume or like a little bio, but then the work that you present can be just one, together, like the images and the application can be together otherwise. But yeah, we're looking for just one business, and it's going to be, so it'll be just white from here down. Nothing, we don't want you suggesting anything below here. That's where we'll have the sponsor's name, and it's just going to be type along here on the four sides. So trying to keep it minimal and not to distract from the work. It's not going to be like a logo or something that's going to take away from the artwork.
Do you have a vision of what you'd like to see there, or is it you just want to see what
dope comes out of it?
Yeah, you know, I have a vision of just something really interesting and different, but it's not up to me. I don't have a vote. I don't have a say in what goes in the case. It's up to the 5 people that are part of the selection crew. So 2 of which are here, Kwani over there, Andrea, yeah. So you can butter them up, like start sending them flowers and stuff, but I don't have anything to do with it. Snacks. Snacks. Yeah, I just want just original ideas.
And I guess depending on what you submit, are you able to identify which case you want to work with?
Yes, definitely indicate that. On the application, I believe it shows like where to indicate. There's like case 1, case 2, something A, B, something like that. But thinking of it like this is the north, so north, south.
Go outside the case, like if you applied for both of them, but you wanted like a joining element that wasn't permanent, can you do things outside as long as it's not interfering with?
As far as I know, I think the call is right now is just for inside of the case. Stick to inside only. It's our first go around. Let's keep it simple. Thank you so much for coming down here. I really appreciate your interest. And like I said, we're going to keep doing this over and over. So hopefully there'll be opportunities for everybody to get their work in some shape or form.
Try.